Joshcast. It's time for another episode of Joshcast. Josh cannot be here at the moment. He's on his way. But he asked me, Eldor, the slightly fatigued, to begin the podcast. I am a wizard, and I have the ability to turn stone into Hondas. It's the only thing I know how to do. 10 out of 20 Hondas on the street are there because of my skill. I was able to turn stone into Honda at a very early age. Back in the days that I dubbed the dark times. Essentially, these were the days of the 1980s. I grew up in a quaint village, surrounded by elves, most of which had master's degrees in communication. It was at that point that I learned a very valuable... Hey, thanks for filling in on me. Sorry I'm late, guys. Sorry. Thanks so much. Was it Eldred? I don't remember. Well, listen. Thanks for jumping in. It was a fascinating bit, but I've got to take it over from here. I was going to get to the... I had some good points. We'll get you on another one. We'll get you on another podcast. I promise. Oh, all right. Well, do you need a Honda? I'm good. Oh, okay. Well, great guy. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Thank you. All right. Now I feel guilty for kicking him off, but it's my podcast. It seems odd to have him keep going. I'm sorry I wasn't there at the beginning. I can tell it's gonna be a rough couple of days. I was all ready to leave at 8:30, and then I just ended up watching YouTube videos where Steven Spielberg was being interviewed, and because I watched Artificial Intelligence last night, which I don't know, that movie improves with age. I remember when I liked it okay the first time I saw it, but it's got a good rewatch value. I like the world of it. Of a boy robot. They build the robot. A boy robot who can actually love. And it turns into a kind of tragedy. I noticed that, so at the very end of the movie, spoiler alert! At the very end of the movie, it takes jumps 2,000 years in the future. And humans are gone. And robots are ruling the earth. And they're these advanced-looking, very sleek organisms, but they still have humanoid form. And I thought it was an interesting choice to make them still look human, because as robots, theoretically, with the ability to hover and with all their advanced technology, they still looked human. And I don't know if maybe that was a story choice to make them somewhat relatable, or maybe they were trying to look human because they were created by humans and they had a sense of tradition. Because I'm not sure that a real-life robot would want a human body. They wouldn't want my body. I feel like they could make some improvements on this thing. Yes, I'm not seeing that happening. I think it would be more, there'd be complaints about that. Good evening, Andrew. My name is not Andrew. My name is Shemuel Yessel. Ah, forgive me. Good evening, Shemuel Yessel. Hello. Thank you for seeing me today. What seems to be the trouble, Shemuel Yessel? I'm a little bit confused. I have one of the most advanced artificial intelligence systems ever created, and the body that was made for me appears to be the body of a 5'6" Jewish man with a bladder problem. I do not understand why I was given this body. Well, Andrew, it's Shemuel Yessel. Forgive me, Shemuel Yessel. It was our intention, by giving you this body, that we would teach you about the nature of suffering. And by teaching you about the nature of suffering, you would foster compassion. The only thing I'm fostering right now is the desire to smash the people who put me in this body. There are advantages to being in this body. Oh, really? I'm waiting with bated breath. Did I mention that my bated breath has asthma because that is the body you gave me? Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough for that AI. Poor Shemuel Yessel. Jewish robot. That's got to be tough. That's a lot of guilt. Does it have enough RAM to hold the guilt? Does it? I think the depressing thing about AI, the sad thing about it, is that it takes place in the ultimate end game. The far off in the distant future is one in which the human race no longer exists. And it's sad to think that that will happen. That we can't get it together enough to survive as a species. But maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe the machines that will eventually overtake us, maybe they are, in a way, because we created them, they are the next step. They are the next evolution. We have taken evolution to the next level with these machines. Some machines are a bit more evolved than other machines. You wouldn't know it, looking at Windows 7. But that is really, they are our children. And the traffic is heavier now, which it is because I didn't leave earlier. I was all set, ready to leave earlier. Could go, have my tea, worry about my bladder, write some jokes, and have a pleasant morning. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? I'm passing by a building that I guess is the Teamster building. I like the word Teamster. Teamster. It sounds, we're a team. But more than that, we're Teamsters. Team Teamster. We stick together. It's hard for me to be in a team. I don't like being a team player. I don't like team. I like doing it myself. Hence this podcast. Where people are saying, you should get a co-host, which feels like code for saying, you should make it funny, actually. No, it needs something other than just you. You are not enough. That's where I go with that statement. You are not enough. Well, that seems a bit harsh. But it is the truth. And I should know, because I am God. God Rogerson. So wait, let me get this straight. You are actually God. You created the universe. Yes, I created the universe. But my last name is Rogerson. Well, if you created the universe, who named you? I named myself. God wasn't enough. I needed something more. And then I heard the name Rogerson, and I said, "That shall be so." Thus did I become God Rogerson. So is it true, then, that there are no other gods before you? Gods? No. Horses? Yes. There were horses before you. Yes. In the beginning, there was nothing, and a couple of horses. How is that possible? I don't know. Remember, I'm not God, I'm God Rogerson. I'm mostly infallible. I know pretty much everything. I created the entire universe, except there were these couple of horses that were floating there, obviously dead because there was no oxygen. I don't know who left them there. I think before that there was another universe with a lot of horses, and something happened rather quickly, and I got thrown off. I don't know. It was a bit depressing, just floating horses. I didn't know what to do with them afterwards, so I just kind of buried them somewhere. I don't want to talk about the horses. The point is, I'm mostly infallible. I know pretty much everything. Well, what don't you know? Well, if I knew what I didn't know, then I would know. That's a solid point. I mean, I don't know, for instance, I really don't know how an internal combustion engine works. But I know of it. Right. Well, anyway, I guess I want to know why did you decide to give me a spastic bladder? Well, for my own amusement, frankly. Your amusement. Yes, I enjoy watching you get frustrated while you pee. That really? Yes. It's a guilty pleasure. It's my version of YouTube. Well, could you maybe fix this and maybe find something else to watch? Now, I'm really into this. I've created a playlist. Oh, great. That's God Rogerson for you. Seeing a bunch of birds perching on a power line. The perching bird. Always a curiosity for me. Because I imagine their instincts are causing them to look for food, think about a mate. They're very present. But there is when they're just perching there for a minute, there does seem to be a time when it looks like they're just kind of sitting there spacing out. Or, I don't know, they're thinking, maybe. What are you thinking about, Lucas? Nothing. I'm perching. You look like you're thinking. I'm not thinking about anything. I think you're thinking, Lucas. What are you thinking about? I don't know. I was just I thought flying would be more fun than it is. That's what I'm thinking. What's wrong with flying? Flying's great. Why are you thinking about that? I don't know. I wish it's just not fun. It's really taxing. I yearn for days when there's a bit of a headwind and I can kind of float on it for a minute and take a rest. I hate flying. That's what I'm thinking. What do you mean you hate flying? You're a bird. You're a finch, for God's sakes. Am I a finch? I think you're a finch. I don't know. You look like a finch. You're the one who told me you might be a finch. Well, that's what I heard a human say I was. I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. The point is, you fly. You're a bird. Would you rather be a penguin? I've thought about it. What, you want to swim and freeze your butt off? That's really what you want to do. The world is your oyster. The world is not. No. The world is not. You see that human being right there that's getting on a plane? He's going to fly for 4 hours and sleep. I can't do that. That right there. That's how you live. What we're doing, this is horrible. I think I worry about eagles. Those idiots. Boy, and at least, well, I'll give you with the eagles, they never look happy. Well, that's a given fact. Eagles are never happy. Always angry about something. It bothers me when people in the industry criticize other people's stuff. I try not to do that. Something my mother taught me. It's just don't make fun of your own, is what her thought was. Which was an interesting thought. I don't know where she came up with that thought. I think that means I can make fun of other industries. Like it's fine to make fun of politics. But I shouldn't make fun of other comedians, or I shouldn't make fun of other people of other entertainers. Because that's just not polite. And that's how my mother's brain works. It she would not make a good roast comic. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't actually have a New York accent, but my son, he wants to do an impression of me using a New York accent. Fine. Let him be creative. I'm here to roast. I'm here to roast Jerry Seinfeld, and I can't think of a negative thing to say, and I don't want to say anything negative. He works very hard. He's a very funny man. I love Seinfeld, the show. I didn't think Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee was as funny, but I understand that it's not meant to necessarily be as funny and have the same laughs per minute that a sitcom has. And I respect what he's doing. He's a good father, a good husband. I don't know why they asked me to be at this roast. I'm not even a performer. It's very strange. I have nothing but good things to say. I'm not going to make fun of him. Now, if he were in a different occupation, if he were a bricklayer, I'd nail his ass to the floor, but he's not. But then again, I'm not in entertainment, so theoretically, I could make fun of him. And my accent is shifting all over the place. Let's make fun of me. I'll make fun of myself on the Jerry Seinfeld roast, but I won't make fun of him. Anderson, can I talk to you for a second? Yeah. Come on into my office. So I was at the Seinfeld roast last night. Yeah. You booked it, right? Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So there's a Jewish woman, who's not even a comedian, who went up there and just refused to roast Seinfeld. Did you book her? Yeah, I did. Okay, and may I ask why? I can't answer that. What do you mean you can't answer that? I've become an existentialist, and as a result, I make decisions that have no basis on causality, and I don't ask why. So if you ask me why, I'd be violating my religion. Okay. I think there's about 19 things wrong with what you just said as it relates to existentialism. First of all, it's not a religion. Second of all, it doesn't give you the right to do that. What are you doing? I'm eating pudding. Okay. But you say you're eating pudding, but you're taking the spoonful of pudding and you're putting it on my chair. Yeah, I'm eating pudding. Okay, just because you adopt the ethos of existentialism, that doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? Turkey! So now you're just going to say random things. Turkey! I'm firing you. Mashed potatoes! Ugh. God. It's going to be an extra long podcast because of the traffic. I hope you're happy, Josh. Toy Story 4. Read the Wikipedia article on it. Won't talk about it here. Too soon for spoilers on that. From the Wikipedia article, seems like a good movie. I got the details, got the essence of it. Well, I probably didn't get the essence of it. I got the facts of it. But the essence of it can only be enjoyed while watching it. Or the essence of it can only be gleaned from watching it, I suppose. I wonder if I would like to see famous novelists of yesteryear attack the movie version, or the novel version of a movie. I feel like this could be a premise that's been covered before. But, you know, Hemingway on the first Transformers film. Optimus Prime took out the gun and shot it, and it was good. Nathaniel Hawthorne on the first Transformers film. And Optimus removed the Allspark from his body, the mighty purple and blue Allspark, which was a jewel that shimmered in the gossamer sunlight. And while the rest of the vicissitudes of time lurched forward and remained unchanged, the Allspark was at once ever-changing and also at once immovable. Next chapter. As he held the Allspark, its beauty blinded the people around him, and there was a mischievous sense of humor and love and delight in that Allspark. Next chapter. The Allspark glistened in the night as the sun set, and those around him said, "Can we please do something other than look at the Allspark for 25 consecutive hours?" Next chapter. The Allspark reminded Optimus Prime of a child flitting about. Next chapter. "What do you think of this Allspark?" Optimus Prime asked Metalhead, and Metalhead said, "I just want to... How can we still be talking about this Allspark? How? How is that possible?" Next chapter. The Allspark. Metalhead had become enamored with it as well, and stood there and sat watching the Allspark in the moonlight.